Gang, we're focusing on the idea of working with access points that do not stand alone, but that instead allow themselves to be controlled by a wireless LAN controller, right? To have centralized management so we could have a whole multiplicity of lightweight access points all forwarding their instructions to a centralized controller or controllers. That's great. So, what's the protocol that makes that happen? Control and provisioning of access points, CAPWAP. The only protocol I know of where the P at the end doesn't stand for protocol. It's kind of weird. It operates over IPv4 or v6 to allow for that connection. And remember what's going to happen is the access point is going to discover the controller and then they're going to convey information back and forth over an encrypted control plane port. That's actually port 5246 is used for that. Then our data, our Wi-Fi client connects to the access point, sending some data. That data is then placed encapsulated within a CAPWAP tunnel frame, not necessarily encrypted. That's up to you to set up, may or may not be encrypted, which then goes to the controller. And then if the controller allows it, then that client's frame as an 802.3 frame is going to exit the controller. So even though, remember, there might be a switch in between here and there, it's not going to be that client's packet is not going to be seen emerging from the access point's switch connection. It's going to be seen emerging from the controller's switch connection out onto that network. And that's how the network's going to relate back to it again. So 5246 and 5247, 47 is where the data plane operates at. There's also a multicast protocol that's used on port 5248. So CAPWAP runs over both IPv4 or IPv6. You can use either one of those standards to connect to it. And remember, it's all about encapsulating it and allowing the central management and data forwarding decisions to be made by the controller, and only the real-time communication, the capturing of the frames, the CSMA CA, the beam forming, things like that, the RF controls to be defined at the access point itself.